So I kicked off the new year with an event called Vision 2020, which focused specifically on social entrepreneurship. And I had this thought to do this in mind, pretty much because I saw that there was a need to be able to provide foundational information to all business owners. With this particular event, I thought it would be a great idea just to gather a group of individuals who were interested in starting a business, who wanted to learn the fundamentals of what it means to be in a nonprofit, and then also, if you wanted to start a for-profit business, the pros and cons of each one as well. The first thing you have to think about is, going through the phase of concept phase and writing everything down as you want it to appear and you visualize as you want your business to grow. And then on the back end, what we did is we added in a portion specifically for discretionary funding and how you're able to pull that funding in or apply for that funding with the respective politicians that are currently in office. Right now, what I'm really focusing on is anyone who is looking to really try something different in the realm of starting social entrepreneurship. I wanted to make sure that businesses, especially businesses of color, have that, resource and, foundation so that they could be successful long term. Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. Your decisions, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
So, greetings, everyone. Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. It is a conversation that I've been having with myself, and now I am having it and sharing it with you about this process of entrepreneurship. Most of the times when we think about what that process looked like, we don't often show all of the mess that happens behind the scenes, but you are engaged and you actually see the product, once we have met and accomplished our goals at different phases. My name is Anita Pierce, and I am a business owner. I'm a mother, and I'm sharing this journey of entrepreneurship with you. I am excited that there are a few brave souls who have the courage to be able to want to come in virtually and share this conversation of entrepreneurship. We are going to unpack, what that looks like with various entrepreneurs who have gifts and talents in different things in different ways. And today, I have the good benefit and the good fortune of having a conversation with someone who was in the travel industry, Miss Victoria Falk. Victoria is an award-winning CEO of Passion Travel Inc., hailing from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn. I always like to support our Brooklynites. Victoria is a certified travel specialist and a global business trainer with over 13 years of experience within the travel and also global business industry as a a trainer, which is really amazing. Victoria has won several awards for sales, business achievement, and also community service. Um, Victoria is also recognized as an international speaker, and you know has really dived into this process of entrepreneurship and really helping us to unpack what that looks like from her perspective. I'm going to just pause a moment to bring Victoria on because I think that, when you see how awesome and dynamic Victoria is, you'll just want to make sure that you support Victoria's business. So, hey, Victoria,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing
I'm
really good.
I'm sitting here, but is that me she's talking about? Really? That's me?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It be us. It be us. It be us,
yes.
Victoria. So, welcome to the journey of the entrepreneur. I wanted to, just share. First of all, this is a process that we all are at different levels and different phases that we are going through. Victoria is a consultant as well, and wears many hats. But do tell more about who you are, Victoria.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to speak. I remember the days when they were throwing the business card in the garbage and they were not showing
Mm,
up for the presentation. So it's truly amazing for me to be here today. I'm a former social worker. I was a social worker for 17 years of my life. And I just knew that I was going to retire as a social worker and get that plaque and that gold watch everybody talks about. I was working with children and families that were involved with foster care and preventive services throughout New York City until the doctor said the magic words, Miss Falk, I know you love your job, but your job is killing you.
mm,
I only had to hear that one time, folks, that my job was killing me. So my travel business is an accidental blessing because I was just trying to take a trip so that I could release that stress. Even though I loved what I was doing, I didn't realize that those sharp pains I was getting on the side of my neck and those headaches and that irregular heartbeat that developed muscle spasms in my body from the stress that I was carrying from my job. I was carrying that with me physically. So when I took that first vacation, I was just trying to have fun when I called to book that trip. And they asked me, they said, well, are you a travel agent? And when I learned about the perks and the benefits that I would get as a travel agent, I said, okay, this is something worthwhile.
mm.
And but even though I had success with travel and booking trips, I still had that guilt. I said, well, I used to help people. I used to do something that was meaningful, and here it is. I'm getting paid to have fun. This doesn't feel right for me.
Mm.
So I learned how to do fundraisers for the churches and nonprofits. I started doing retreats for people who were just as stressed out, if not more than myself. And when I started teaching other people how they can do what I do and have fun, enjoy lifestyle, get income, it really took on a whole new level of meaning for me.
So how did you get so you started your business, it sound like, as a result of having some sort of personal challenges, it sounds like.
Yes.
But how did you decide that that was where you were going to, the direction in which you were going to go?
Well, I have a brother who since passed who used to watch me come home stressed and see me crying at the kitchen table. And he kept telling me, he says, you can have your own business, right? I said, who, me? I can't do that. I'm just a social worker.
Mm,
Then he would see me upset again, and you can have your own business, right? And I kept saying, me, not me, I can't do it. He would bring me books for me to read. He said, all you have to do is learn. So when I got sick and the doctor told me that I could possibly die, my brother had actually died from leukemia, which is cancer of the blood. And I said to myself, you know what? Timing is trying to show me something right now. Like, who would have thought that I would be told that my life could be cut short? And to see my brother's life, end when he was 45. But not only did he die at 45, he died at 45 on my birthday.
Wow.
Now, what kind of gift is that, folks? That's no gift to give to somebody. So imagine the trauma of that. So I was depressed. I was depressed for a while with my own personal health challenges and being in mourning. But I said, you know what? I can't keep going in this direction. I said, let me look at what I have in my hand, because I got to pick myself up. So I said, okay, he believed in me and I have strong faith. So let me carry that two together and honor his memory and save my life by going into something different, which is the travel and the lifestyle. And since I've been involved with the travel business, by the grace of God, I have not had any of those health problems. I think I look younger now than I did when I first started my business 13 years ago.
Wow. So for someone who was interested in starting a travel business, right? What would be your estimated startup cost?
Well, the startup cost is as low as $79 right now. See, because right now is a crucial time because the world is trying to recover. So yes, you can get started and get trained for 30 days, get a website for as little as $79 to start. And then they have the VIP executive program where you can start at $499. But because of the challenges that people are having, company doesn't want you to invest the top dollar right now and not be certain that this is something that you want to do. So we're encouraging people to actually take the training first, explore, book travel, learn the different areas of it, and see if it's something that you want to do. And then if you feel comfortable, yes, we have a $499 package that people can get started with.
Okay. So were there any other, so you have a parent company in which helps to support and offset some of your expenses. That is an entry point that worked really well for yourself.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Because I thought about it. If I were to do this on my own completely, I would have to pay somebody to make my website, pay people to maintain it. I would have to pay people to do reports. I would have to take the time to make all these travel connections. But it's nice to have a parent company that's hosting me, where I can actually function independently as Passionate Travel, which I do. I actually took the time to really be incorporated. And I'm able to function under the company, to utilize their insurance policy, to utilize their lawyers and attorneys and their staff. Because as a solopreneur, it's challenging at times to have staff you have to pay and to have to worry about supplies and all. So to have that parent company that has all of that in there really helps for people like myself who's starting off fresh with no experience as an entrepreneur or business owner.
Right. And so that is very interesting that you talk about, the entry point as a solopreneur, because I know that most people, when they are starting up this dream of entrepreneurship, they usually are starting, up by themselves with their idea and their dream. So which leads me to my next question, which is the connecting. How do you connect with other small business owners, to be able to collaborate, share ideas, so that it doesn't feel as lonely as a entrepreneur when you're just starting out?
Yes, and you hit it. I mean, there are days that you can feel lonely. You have these goals and these dreams, and you tell family and friends, and they're looking at you like they knew you before.
Mm-hmm.
They can't always see the evolution as quickly as we evolve. So I've been out there going to networking events, meeting like-minded people, connecting with other people, men and women who are entrepreneurs, and collaborating with them. We've been pooling our resources together, and the friendships that you develop with other people who are in your same space, who are trying to make their goals and dreams happen, is amazing. And the thing is, I need people to remember that it doesn't have to be people in your sphere. So I have a lot of people that I connect with. They're not in the travel industry. They're in all different types of industry. You have someone who makes jewelry, someone who makes clothes, right? Someone who makes cupcakes, someone who makes smoothies, all these different entrepreneurs. And you're able to connect because you're not competing with one another. If I'm doing travel and I have someone that, owns the wine company, guess what? That's a great travel party. And we get to share that wine with everybody who comes to the party. So I've learned how to connect with entrepreneurs where we're able to lift each other up and come together with events where it's not one person that's footing that bill completely. We're coming together and putting our monies together, our time and our talents together. And it's success that each person can gain from that one event.
So it's interesting that you mentioned about really deepening and collaborating with diverse business owners. Um,
Yeah.
and also wanted to add that sometimes when you have someone who's doing a similar business, if they've been doing it longer, that sometimes they can lend their support and kind of like help you to close the gap on some of your learnings. So also don't hesitate,
Yeah.
to be able to reach out to those who you actually um, mirror in terms of experience and service, but also for those who, it's an opportunity for you to be able to close your learning gap. And I think that's one of the biggest
Yeah.
lessons for myself in terms of like really
Mhm.
reaching out. Um, I always say, shoot your shot. You never know sometimes where it lands.
Yes. Yes. No, that's an excellent, excellent point. And I'm so glad you shared it because it makes me remember when I was in my 10th year.
Hmm.
Something about that year 10, I don't know what it was, but I had the challenge. I said, well, I'm not moving as quickly as I was before, and I'm not growing as quickly. So I went to one of my friends who has a boutique out in Harlem, and she's been in business for what, 21 years now. So when I wanted to figure out year 10, I had to find somebody that was already being very successful, already achieving, living the life. And I went to her. I said, may I please ask you a question? What do I do? What can you suggest? And like you said, it was fascinating because she didn't have to pull out a textbook. She didn't have to Google it. She just told me from her own life, her own experience, this is what I do. And there are times when I walk past her boutique and the sign on the door says closed, right? But I peep in and I see that she's in there. She's in there cleaning the place and making it look nice and moving things, redecorating. And so a lot of times you learn from people by what they tell you, but also by watching them. Because when I watch her in her shop, making it nice for the customers when the customers are not there to see, that sent a message to me that I got to keep working on Victoria,
Hmm.
even when I'm not in front of the crowd. I got to keep working on my personal development. I have to keep studying and training so that when someone asks me something, that I have the knowledge and the information. So yes, you are exactly right. Having those mentors that are more knowledgeable and more experienced than us to help with that learning. Because when you're like myself, a full-time entrepreneur, I don't have a lot of time to make a mistake, right? And there are times when I make mistakes, and guess what? I can't sit and moan and cry about it. I got to pick up quickly, recover quickly. So that's definitely something great to have.
That's what I tell my clients. I was like, failing is normal in this process.
Mhm.
It's normal. I
Yeah.
said the choice is you either sit in it or you fail and fail quickly and move on. Move on.
Yeah.
Move on. Learn your lesson and move on. Do not sit in it, because if you're jumping into entrepreneurship thinking that you are not going to make mistakes, hate to
Mhm.
tell you, not the place. This ain't the place for you. It is not the place to believe that everything is perfection. It is not the
Mhm.
place where you show up on social media and think that everything is picture perfect. A lot of times we in digital space and we don't have bras on, and it be like that sometimes.
Definitely. I have my little composition books
Yep.
that I carry with me, right? So that when the mistake happens, guess what? I write it down.
Mm.
I write down the mistake. I write down the date. Okay, don't do this again, right? And then when something goes well, I write down, okay, this went well.
Hmm.
And I even go as far as to write down what I feel about people when I meet people, because everybody is in your ear with an opinion
Mm.
as to who you should do business with, who you should socialize with, who you should be friends with, right? So I always write it down what my personal experience is. So I'm not a victim of the crowd's chatter.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a
Yeah.
good one. It's almost like um, just adding on. You know how when someone wants you to give background, very high level background about a person before you meet them, tell me
Mhm.
everything about them. Tell me the good, bad, and the truth is, and you hit it. Your experience may be different, maybe different, maybe.
Mhm.
And so, at minimum, sharing um, some information, but not, negative information, or,
Right.
what your previous perception is. Because I always say
Mhm.
this, we shop at the big box stores all the time, BJ's, Costco's, Walmart, Target. That you know how many times they make mistakes? And
That's right.
what we do, we line
We keep
up,
going.
we line up, we make that return, and we go right back in the store and purchase something
Mhm.
else.
Keep going back.
Right. And so, in terms of business, specifically really smaller micro businesses, the policy in my book is the same. You give individuals an opportunity to recover, because the impact is a lot different at that level versus when you're going out and purchasing from other organizations.
Right. It's true.
So, I wanted to ask you about one of the most challenging things that you have experienced thus far on your journey of an entrepreneur.
Mm. Let's see. I think for me, the most challenging thing was getting started.
Mm,
Making the decision to start. And when I made the decision to start, and I was renting space, trying to have presentations to let people know who I am and what I offer, and nobody was showing up. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody. Not one person. But you pay for the space,
mhm,
right? So then the next week, not one person showed up. And the next week, not one person showed up. And it got so bad that the people who were renting me the space on a weekly basis, they actually had a conversation with me. Victoria, is everything okay? Because you keep coming back and nobody's showing up. And, it's kind of hard for us to come and open up the doors for you and turn on the lights. And we're coming from our house to put the space for you, but nobody's here. And I begged them. I said, please don't give up on me, please. I said, just give me a little more time. And if I don't make something happen in this next few weeks, then do what you got to do. But give me some more time, please. If I got to pay you extra, I will. But I need you to open the doors for me so that I can have my presentation. And I guess God heard me, the angels, everybody heard me, because somebody finally showed up. It was one person who showed up, and she says to me, she said, well, where's everybody? I said, well, I don't know. They was here last week, right? And I wasn't lying, because in my mind, they was there, right? And when I did that presentation for her, I did it with so much fire. She pulled out her credit card. She said, how much is it? I'm ready to join. And then when the folks saw that I just needed that one person to say yes. So when that person said yes, the next person said, hey, wait a minute. She said yes. Well, tell us. And then, well, tell us. And then they started saying, well, I know this one and I know that one. So you have to show and prove before people will follow you. But the main thing that I didn't share yet in the story is each week that nobody showed up, I stood there, dressed up, doing a presentation to empty chairs. I was rehearsing, I was practicing, because I kept saying one day, I don't know when, but one day somebody's going to come. One day somebody's going to show up. And when they come, I'm going to be ready for that. So that was hard. I can joke about it. I can smile about it now. But having to beg people to believe in me, can you please trust me that I can make this happen? I pay you extra. Let me use your space, please. Thank goodness they say yes, right?
Right.
There's some folks out there that you are somebody's yes, and that yes can change a life. They say yes.
And I want to add that you said yes to yourself. You kept going. You kept going. Because how many folks would have given up during that process? Say yes. So kudos to you for continuing to believe in yourself. Because one of the things that I recognize as a coach is that belief in yourself is some days that will be the thing that carries you to the next day.
Yes. And you have to be able to encourage yourself, right? Because a lot of times we look for other people. We want other people to encourage us. And some of the people we want to encourage us are walking around dry and empty themselves. Right? A lot of times when I'm training people, they'll talk about haters. All my family hating on me. My friends are hating on me. I said, nah, girl, they're not hating on you. They're going through their own experience. As you over here trying to elevate your life, they're wondering what they're going to do with their own life. So we have to get to the point where we ask ourselves, why do I need everybody around me to be a cheerleader and support the dream? The dream was given to you. The gift was given to you. So it's your responsibility to birth that thing and present it to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so our conversation is coming to a close. Can you believe it?
It's been wonderful time.
It's been wonderful. So do you have, so someone who is looking to follow, just following your path, right? that the example that and the gifts that you have been given, what three quick things that you will describe that they should be doing immediately if they want to get started?
Um, Immediately, if they want to get started with the business, it's make the commitment to continued learning, right? Connect with mentors like myself that are going to show you the way, and write it down. Write that journey down every step of the way. Write down your thoughts, write down your experiences, write down your interactions. Because the things that you need to get to the next level, whatever that next level is, a lot of times it's a rewind or replay of something in your past.
Mm.
See, the thing is, when I was in college, and I remember not being able to afford books and trying to figure out, how to pay when the student loan and everything wasn't enough. I planned a bus trip. I used to have parties in the room. But see, that was as a psych major. I never had any idea at that point that I would have a business that would have me planning events and doing trips and things. It was just something that I did in that moment because I needed money for school. So I share that with people to write everything down, because you might not realize now that skill that you developed 5 years ago or 10 years ago is going to be that thing that's going to help propel you in a business. So just write everything down, because you don't know when and how you're going to have to use it.
And on that note, we can find Victoria. Victoria was gracious enough to share social media. Um, this is, you can connect with Victoria on Instagram at Passion Travel Inc. on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Um, Victoria Falk Passion Travel on LinkedIn. And so, on that note, Victoria, I am super grateful for you sharing your time. Look forward to having you come back on to share, what new and exciting things that you are going to be focused in on. And appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, at least part of it, because I know that there's always so much more behind the scenes. Um, Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope that it helps somebody to know that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to get started.
Could say that again. It's just getting started. And so I'm going to bring Victoria backstage so we can close out. And I'm going to share some events that I know of that are happening. So typically, this is all about business. So what we do know is that there are a number of resources. This just so happened to be in Brooklyn with the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. They do have a number of COVID related resources. And so if you are within Brooklyn, um, please take advantage of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. The New York City Small Resource Network. They have one-on-one support. This is actually in partnership with the small bit. I'm sorry, the um, chamber, and a number of other organizations, nonprofits have gathered together to create a small business resource network that you can take advantage of. This is specifically for you, the entrepreneur, those who are just getting started. There are plenty of resources that you can take advantage of as a small business owner. And guess what? A lot of those services are for free. And so I also wanted to mention about there are still opportunities for grants, grants between $5,000 and $25,000 that are now and still available. The New York State Empire Development COVID-19 Pandemic Small Business Recovery. And so this is what I always say about grants, right? Because they require you to provide information about your business. One, you can be a sole proprietor. However, you could be a sole proprietor, but you do have to have things like a separate business bank account. things like your W-9 form, things like your business certificate that you file with your county clerk's office in order to be able to apply for these grants. Have you filed your taxes? Have you or do you have a separate business bank account? Those are the things that are needed at the fundamental level for all of these grants. Almost 99% of them that you apply for, because they want to know that, the work that you are doing, is it a hobby, or are you really doing business? And having these fundamental things to be able to apply for these grants are really important. So the other thing I want to show is, I happen to be a coach, um, where clients hire me to help them. However, there are a number of individuals who cannot afford my services. So this is what I say. I am a mentor through SCORE. SCORE is an organization that provides very amazing mentors to be able to help to support you and to elevate you through to your next level. This service is funded through the SBA, and you can book me through there. And also wanted to share some additional opportunities for resources. So this is funding specifically for women, minority, and LGBTQ business owners. The MBA and Legal Zoom, they have teamed up to help underserved small businesses to be able to um, provide a multi-year partnership with small businesses within those demographics. This is a first initiative and a grant opportunity, monies that you do not have to pay back. However, as I mentioned previously, there are basic qualifications that you have to have. For this specific grant, you have to be in business at least 6 months, which is very generous because most grants do require that you be in business for upward to a year, but this one is at minimum 6 months. And you do have to have business bank account, business designation, registration with the state, wherever you are, um, the footprint that you are working out of. You have to have statements to be able to show that you can actually apply for these specific grants. The application and you're able to apply for this particular grant is November the 23rd. So, what I encourage you to do is take one of them late nights that we're up, quiet time, go through all your documents, make sure that you have everything in order so that when you start to apply for these specific grants as they come up, it's literally you're taking the information out of your folder and you're placing it onto their application online to be able to apply. And they're giving out $10,000, and also I think it's 500 or $600 in credit for LegalZoom. So you have the best of being able to get resources, funding resources, and also the support of a legal team online. And then there is, and also the deadline for this one is November the 23rd. Also, another grant is the NAACP has funding for individuals, specifically fundings of individuals of color. This is in partnership with the Vistaprint, and it's a Power Forward Small Business Grant. And so again, if you are interested in applying for this particular application, it's there. The NAACP.org. The link is there. Make sure that you have your documents together. That is the key, the clutch, that you have to have your business documents in order. So we'll be placing these online so that you can access these resources with the links available, so that you can take advantage of the resources that are available. A lot of them are for free. I want to repeat that. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of these opportunities as they come. So, on that note, I want to thank you for joining us for season 2 of The Real Journey of the Entrepreneur. I am really excited because we have some super powerhouse entrepreneurs that are really looking to share their insights with you to help your learning curve and to help you become amazing and to help you to live out the dream that you are imagining. I'm super grateful for your time and thank you again for joining us on The Real Journey of the Entrepreneur. Bye bye. Welcome to The Real Journey of the Entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. Your decisions, my own, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.